Okay, so we've deployed and Robin is going to walk us through what he's got in his army.
Cool, so we're playing Table Quarters and Annihilation. So I'm playing Chaos Space Marines. We're doing 1250 points. So I have a couple rhinos here. This rhino is loaded up with a 10-man squad of regular Chaos Space Marines with an icon of Khorne, a couple of Melta, and a champ with Fist. The spikier rhino is my Berserker rhino, so I have just a 5-man unit of Khorne Berserkers with a champ and Fist. I have a Demon Prince whom I'm playing with wings. I know he's not modeled as such. Mark of Slanesh with Warp Time. And in the back corner, I've got a Defiler, just hoping up to line up shots to Jarrett's deployment, which you'll see shortly. And I have a third rhino. This rhino is got 8 Plague Marines with an icon that I can use for my deep striking obliterators, which are off the table at the moment, and a couple of plasma. So the only thing not on the table are just the troops that are in rhinos, and I have 3 obliterators waiting to deep strike some point in the game.
Okay, for my army I've got LR Crusader starting the game, and just outside of it, ready to jump in, are 5 Stern Guard with just 1 Combi Melta added to that, and Pedro Cantor style character with all his rules. In reserve I've got 2 Land Speeders armed with multi-meltas and heavy flamers. Here you've got the unit of the tactical squad that's mounted in the rhino that's on the table, and it's got a flamer in it. There's the drop pod starting in reserve, and that has a dread with multi-melta deployed in it. And there's the rhino, it's got the tac squad, and a predator destructor with heavy bolter sponsons. And because they're so sneaky and camouflage, I totally missed my scouts, which are deployed in cover. They've got camo cloaks, a missile launcher, and sniper rifles. So here's a wide shot of the table just after deployment, just before turn 1. You can see there's Robin in the back quarter of the table, and here's my Imperial Fists in this quarter, and we're about to start the first turn.
Okay, so top of turn 1, very straightforward. The rhinos and Demon Prince all moved up around 12 inches. The middle rhino popped smoke, just trying to work around this side of the board and give cover to the back rhino. Towards the back corner, the Defiler shot with its cannon at the scouts that are in cover, and the shot scattered well beyond where they are. And my last rhino just moved up 12 inches to try to gain some cover behind the bastion. That's the end of top of turn 1.
Alright, bottom of turn 1, Jarrett's turn. The drop pod landed in Robin's area, and the Dreadnought got out. He, in shooting phase, he fired on the rhino with the Berserkers in it with the multi-melta, and got through the smoke save, but only managed to get a weapon destroyed result. And over by my deployment zone, the Predator and Rhino just drove up a bit. The scouts that are in cover fired their missile launcher, but they were well out of range of the Defiler, and the Stern Guard and Pedro character got into the Land Raider and drove up a bit, cruising speed and pop smoke. And that's the end of the turn 1.
Alright, top of turn 2, Chaos Space Marines. The obliterators deep struck in. I had an icon in this rhino, so therefore they didn't scatter. After landing, they ended up shooting at the rhino across the table and did pop it with one of the las cannon shots, but just one, so rolled a 5. The Defiler then took a pot shot at the remaining Marines that had popped out. Did score a hit directly on top, however, the Marines went to ground and all but one made their cover save. The Dreadnought caught the attention of the Demon Prince and the Berserkers in the rhino, so they assaulted in. The Demon Prince actually shredded the thing. It blew up and actually killed 3 of the Berserkers in the flaming debris. We have a nice little crater there now. The last rhino that has a squad of 10 Chaos Space Marines is just trucking on down and pop smoke. Worried about the Predator this turn. So we'll see how the bottom of turn 2 goes.
Alright, so in the bottom of turn 2, one of my reserves came in, one of the land speeders, and since I have a locator beacon on the drop pod, it deep struck in right in front of the defiler and opened fire with the multi-melta and failed. So I'm 0 for 2 on the meltas. Over here, the Predator and the Crusader both advanced to open fire on the Obliterators. So the Predator managed to do 1 wound, and the Stern Guard who got out fired, and one of them used their Combi Melta to score another wound, which took out 1 Obliterator. And the Assault Cannon fired and did not manage to wound the Obliterators at all. And that's the end of the round. Moving on to round 3.
Top of turn 3 for Chaos. The loaded up Rhino with the 10 squad of Chaos Space Marines just zipping around the side. The 2 Berserkers got back into their Rhino, which backed up into the cover here. The Demon Prince charged the land speeder and took it down quite handily. The Defiler took a shot at the Marines in front of the Land Raider that had gotten out. Those are Stern Guard. And hit, but they all made their cover saves. So the 2 Obliterators took glass cannon shots at the Predator and got a glancing hit and ended up shaking it so that it can't shoot next.
Alright, so here we are at the bottom of turn 3. As far as the second land speeder did not roll in for reserve, so it's still off the table. The scouts moved out of cover, and the attack Marines kind of backed up a little bit in anticipation of the Chaos Marines coming down the side of the table in that Rhino there. The Predator moved up at cruising speed. 12 inches, couldn't fire because of the crew shaken result. And the story of this round is pretty much the Pedro character used orbital bombardment on the Defiler and rolled pretty poorly to penetrate. It was glancing, I think, right? Glancing, but did get a weapon destroyed and blew off the what do you call it? Blew off the big gun on the front of it. And the assault cannon on the Land Raider took a shot at the Obliterators and did get a rending and got 1 wound on 1 Obliterator, and the other one made it safe. That's the end of turn 3.